Okay, my friends, we're starting out laying down so that we can allow the spine to relax in its full neutral length here. So in order to keep the spine a bit more neutral, we might put a little bend in the knees, especially if you feel some tension in your low back. Maybe you tend to feel limited there. And maybe even knock your knees together a little bit. All right, we'll just take some time breathing here, starting our practice with breath. Find those big inhales, big exhales. Looking for a big expansive feeling across the whole front of the body and the back body, the sides. So your whole torso expansive on the inhales. Everything moves inward toward the center on the exhales. And with each exhale, see if you could allow a little tension to drain out of your body, whether it's physical tension or maybe some mental tension. Allow your jaw to hang softer and softer. Your eyeballs heavier and heavier. So is your tongue. And I find it helpful to think about the musculature of breathing, okay, when I'm breathing. So maybe you do too. And one of the most crucial muscles that we're using during our big breath, our big deep yoga breath, is this lovely little strip of muscle that runs around your middle, just about where your belly button is, and it's called your transversus abdominis. Okay, it runs across your belly and it attaches at your spine. Okay, so think about a belt that wraps around your whole middle, and that's essentially what it is. So as you inhale and your diaphragm draws down and compresses your abdominal cavity, your belly button puffs open to the ceiling, your transversus abdominis relaxes. So I want you to intentionally relax your belly. I think of it as a Buddha belly on the inhale. So Buddha belly, inhale. And on the exhale, you do contract that transversus abdominis, and all of the muscle of the belly move inward toward the center. So feel that belt of tissue roll inward. Okay, and that's where you're getting your strong exhale from. So notice the belly musculature there. Buddha belly, and then strong belly. And then up here, up top, we have some musculature assisting in the upper body. On the inhales, we have these big muscles that pull the rib cage open to allow more space. So feel your big chest expand on the inhale. I like to think of the collarbones kind of smiling very wide. And on the exhale, your diaphragm presses back up towards your rib cage, and the little muscles between the ribs contract and actually decrease the space inside your rib cage. So we have the belly and the rib cage working together to make a huge breath. And now that you've been breathing deeply for a few moments, notice how you feel. Notice your body and mind. What's going on in there? Let's bring in a little movement. So let's do some windshield wipers just to warm up the low body. Take our knees bent. Bring your feet in closer toward the direction of your hips and then take them wide. And you might like taking them really wide. I like taking mine way off the mat, but you decide what your hips want. And you just drop your knees side to side. Allowing the inner and outer hip. A little bit of gentle movement, low back. And you can make this very passive and gentle, mostly allowing gravity to pull your knees down. Or you can activate the knees downward a bit and get a little bit more range of motion. And your inner and outer hip might enjoy a little extra space. Remember to keep your big, deep yoga breath. And then let's deepen that twist a little bit. Take your arms out a little wider. Next time your knees point up, pull them up and closer to your chest. Okay, bracing yourself with your arms out to the side, doing your best to keep your shoulder blades grounded, and doing your best to keep your knees pointed at your mat behind your head rather than allowing them to drift away from you. Let's start hovering them side to side. So hover on one side, maybe look away from them to get that most complete twist. And bring them through center and hover on the other side. Nice and slow. Look away from the knees. So let's go side to side a few times. Ground those shoulder blades. Look away from your knees. And remember to breathe. I like to exhale on the twist and inhale back to center, but really just keep breathing. That's the most important thing here. Notice it takes a little bit of core control to pull the knees back up to center. So we're getting a little bit of a core warm up here. And next time your knees are coming back through center, pause. And then put your knees at just about a right angle and then move them so they're over your hips, okay? And if it gets to be a little too much, you can move the knees back inward for less challenge and move them a little bit away from you for more challenge. So just be aware there's a scale there you can play around with. And then if it's all right with your neck, reach your hands up and peel your head and shoulders up off the floor. And you'll feel your abdominis rectus starting to work here. So your abs are bringing your rib cage a little closer to your hips in the front. So we'll just breathe here a little while and we'll start to move. So let's extend the right leg as if you're pushing your right foot toward the front of the mat. And let's reach out with the left arm as well, forward toward the front of the mat. Let's bring them back into center. And switch sides, left leg, right arm. Let's think of inhaling back to center. Exhale, right leg, left arm. Inhale to center. Exhale, switch sides. Inhale to center. So you get what we're doing. You get the idea, okay? Keep it going. Definitely keep breathing. And if you need a little bit less, just go ahead and drop your head and shoulders, pull your knees in a little closer, and just keep moving. If you want a little more, you like a challenge, okay? Reach your hands back behind you when you're not using them. Try that. If you want more, extend your legs, okay, when they're up in the air. And finally, if you really do want a whole lot more, move your feet closer to the front of the mat when you're not using them, okay? And that takes a nice amount of core strength and ab strength. So find what's making you happy today. Pull that belly button down, 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 down with the belly button. Keep breathing. 3 rounds here on either side. Nice and slow. Hold that belly button to the floor. 2 rounds. One more round on each side. All right, let that go. Bring your knees in. Whew. Rock your low back out on the mat. Okay, definitely feeling warmed up in the abs. So tuck your hands behind your knees here. Let's rock it up a few times. And I'd like to get a little bit more warm in your core, so rock it up and down. See if you can float when you come up in a little boat pose. And remember, your boat pose can have your toes on the ground, of course, or not. So you decide. Okay, next time you come up, let's float in your boat. Remember, you can drop your fingers and toes at any time, and it's still a boat pose. You're slightly leaning back here because we want your abs to kind of catch you on the way back. So find that spot. You might start by just grabbing your knees and leaning back until you feel like you're feeling your abs turn on, and you can use your hands. Oh, okay, there they are. Maybe your feet come up. Breathe. Remember to breathe. So remember, you can always drop your hands and feet and or grab your knees, but I'd like to roll us down to the low back for a half boat. So roll down to your half boat, Ardha Navasana. Just your low back comes down. And use your strong exhale to propel yourself back up to your boat. Let's do that a few more times. You feel your abs. Okay, inhale down. Exhale up. Keep a long neck. Let's do it a few more. Okay, if you need less challenge, use your hands and feet, and I'm showing you what that might look like. Okay, it's still a good challenge if you use your hands and feet. If you like this challenge and you want to kick it up a little bit, when you come up, extend your legs and try to touch your feet. 3 more. 2 more. Last one, feeling it. Come up in your boat and let's hold here. Okay, you can have hands or feet down. You can grab your knees, but I want to invite you to challenge yourself a little bit here to lengthen your spine, point your tailbone at your toes, and roll that belly button in. One more big breath here in your boat. And let it go. Go ahead and cross your ankles and roll over to hands and knees. Okay, let's get a wrist stretch here. Point your fingers back at your knees. And you could do one hand if 2 hands is too much. So just palm down, spin the fingers to point back at you. And even if the fingers don't go all the way back, that's not a problem. Just take them as far as you'd like to go. Elbows are pointed back. Elbows are slightly in as well. And with your inhale, pull your big heart forward. Oh, what a great stretch for your abs. And exhale, push the floor away. So this should feel nice after that boat. Okay, pulling heart forward. And pushing floor away. Let your head hang when you round your back. Keep it going. Okay, find some real fluidity in your spine. Maybe roll sideways and do it a few times. And then come back to a flat back. And because that was kind of an intense wrist stretch, let's flip the hands over for a few times. Fingers pointed back at you, but this time the palm is facing up. And again, 1 or 2 hands is fine. Just do what works, but let's roll around on the hands. Find some good sore spots. Okay, our hands are really overused and underappreciated little muscles. Okay, hands back to normal, my friends. And then let's get the right leg out behind. Go ahead and tuck those toes and push back through the right heel. Get a nice little stretch for your calf. And then notice as you push back through the right heel, if you really push back, you maybe unintentionally, unconsciously lift your left knee off the floor. Let's play around with that. So give a good push back through the right heel, strong in the right leg. Could you hover your left knee up off the ground and just breathe? Okay, you can always drop it. But how about really tucking it into your chest as you breathe here and push the floor? Okay, if you tend to round in your upper back like I do, could you take the round out and send your heart a little bit more forward? It's challenging, but you can do it. Warming your arms here, warming your core, warming that left hip flexor. Push through the right heel. Very nice. One more big breath in here. And release that left knee to the ground. We're spinning it over to a supported side plank. So move your left toes to point out to the left. Okay, pivoting on that left knee. We're dropping the right heel and coming up with the right hand. Supported side plank. And take a moment to fidget yourself. When you look down at the floor, your hand, knee, and foot should all be in a straight line with each other. Okay, you could use a ruler and draw a line there. Let's open up this right shoulder. So really activate the right arm. I like to think of reaching out and pulling back at the same time so that all the muscles in the arm are active. And then go ahead and activate the left arm too. Make sure it's bendy at the elbow and the shoulder is active and that left arm as well. And let's circle out the right shoulder. Big circles. Keep breathing. Should feel nice in your shoulder and your armpit and your chest. And let's rewind it. Maybe push through the palm this time. Stretch open the forearm a little bit more. Okay, next time you're reaching up with that right hand, pause, and let's lift up the right leg. Let's internally rotate that hip. So make sure the right toes are pointed straight out in the direction that you're looking. And you can point the toe, okay? Get a nice opening for the front of your shin there and a strength for your calf. And let's tap the toe to the floor. And lift it just as high as the hip. Notice when you're internally rotating, you can't really lift it higher than that. There's actually a piece of bone stopping you from doing that. So tap it down and lift it up. Again, down and up. Maybe 3 more times. Down, up. Use that outer hip. 2 more. Last one. Down and up. Now I want you to try to isolate this movement. Okay, pull your belly button into your spine. Don't let your hip and your low back come with your leg. Move your leg forward and move your leg back. Keep your belly button where it is. Move your leg forward. Isolate it. Move your leg back. Keep it going. Forward. Still internally rotating and back. Maybe 3 more. You can do this. And back. 2 more. Last one. Nice. Okay, bring the right foot back to the floor. Press through the outer edge of the right foot and take a little time to reach the right hand very far away from that right foot. Make the right side infinitely long. Reach out through the hand and foot. All right, I have a little challenge for you here. So I want you to really push down into that right foot, especially the outer edge. If you could you lift the left knee up off the floor? If it doesn't work, no problem. If it does, however, could you point it straight out in front of you in the direction that you're looking? If everything goes well, could you extend the leg And if you're feeling super spicy, maybe you reach out and you grab that foot and you can pull it in towards your face. Okay, and you decide how far in you want to pull it. Take one more big breath here. And then come out with control, the same way you came in, of course. And once you're back in a supported side plank, we'll let it go. So spin it back down to hands and knees. Take your hands wide and your knees wide, and let's just circle it out a little bit. And let's switch directions. Take it back the other way. Let's switch sides. So back to normal hands and knees here. We'll get the left leg out behind. Tuck those toes. And push back through the left heel. Just kind of exploring that nice calf stretch. And how does this even work? How does this feel? And then as you're ready, let's play around. Let's push back through the left heel and hover the right knee up off the floor. You decide how high you want to hover. It's really up to what you're cultivating today in your practice. A gentle challenge or a fierce challenge, you decide. But see if you could take some of the round out of your upper spine and maybe tuck that knee up a little higher. Notice the right hip flexor working. Your abs and core for sure. Your arms definitely carrying most of the weight of your upper body here. But allow your left leg to carry a little bit of the weight as well. So push down through the left toes. All right, one more big breath in here. And then we'll drop the right knee, drop the left heel, pivot on that right knee, and then we're reaching up with that left hand to a supported side plank. Okay, and I'll spin around to face you. So remember, in your supported side plank, when you look at the floor, the hand, the knee, and the foot are all in a straight line. Okay, and that's how you know you're there. Take some time settling in. I like to press down the outer edge of the left foot and get that nice ankle stretch. And then as you're ready, strengthen the left arm. So push out and pull in at the same time. And do the same with the right. So both arms are strong. Your upper body is on. And then we'll circle out that left shoulder. Remember to breathe. Feel all the musculature surrounding that joint working. Let's rewind it, maybe push through the palm. And then next time you're reaching up with the left hand, let's pause there. And let's get the left leg up. So internally rotating. So if you look at your left toes, maybe you're pointing your left toe, you want to make sure that all your left toes point more down than up. That's how we know we're internally rotating. You also know because you can't really lift it more high than your hip. So you've got that piece of bone stopping you from doing that. Okay, so internally rotate, tap the floor, and then pick it up. And breathe, tap, and up. Maybe close your eyes here. Turn this into a little more of a balance challenge as you're challenging your left hip. One more time, down and up. Okay, now pause. I want you to really work your belly muscles here. Pull the belly button in and isolate the legs movement as you swing it forward and swing it back. That's the tricky one. Don't let your belly button pop forward when you swing it back. Swing it forward. Swing it back. Again, forward and back. Can we do it 2 more times? You can do this. Last one. Okay. Allow that left foot to drop to the floor. Push through the outer edge and reach the left hand very far away. Big, yummy stretch on that left side. See how long you can make it. Okay, so as you're thinking about that left side being nice and open, maybe press that left foot extra strong into the floor. Press the right hand extra strong and hover the right knee. And maybe just hovering is enough today. You decide where you want to go with this. But if you want, you can point that knee forward. Pause. Make sure you're in control still. You're not just throwing yourself around. If the leg extends, awesome. And if you want, you can grab that foot with your left hand and kind of pull it towards your face. But you decide how much you want to go, okay? Calmly. One more breath here. And calmly let it go. Come out the way you came in, okay? Once you're back in your supported side plank, come on down to hands and knees. Take the hands and feet wide, hands and knees wide again. And we'll circle it out again. Should be feeling much warmer. Okay, from here, tuck your toes and find yourself in downward facing dog. Come on up. Your first down dog of the day. Let's walk the heels out. Walk the hips one side to the other and roll the shoulders generously. Both directions with those shoulder blades. All right, my friends, we'll get off your hands for a little while. From here, walk your hands back to your feet. Bend your knees really nicely and drape your upper body to hang from your hips. So I'd like to spend a few breaths here just letting that upper body hang. Maybe close your eyes. And take 3 or 4 more long, slow breaths. Notice any tension in the backs of your legs. Okay. Allow your neck to be soft and shoulders move away from your ears so your head can really hang long and heavy. And let's start to move a little bit, friends. So with your inhale, push into your heels, roll yourself up, stacking your vertebrae. Come on up here, lift your heart. And exhale, sit down into a chair squat. So bend your knees, drop your tailbone, and look up at the sky. Inhale to come back up to standing. And exhale, hinge at your hips and fold. Halfway up on your inhale, look at the front of the mat. And on your exhale, fold deeply, hugging your legs. Palms are down here. Inhale and walk your hands forward to a plank. Exhale here, bend your knees. Try to sit close to your heels as you hover your knees off the mat. Push the floor with your strong arms. Inhale back to plank. And exhale to a down dog. Inhale to plank here again. And exhale to walk to your hands and fold. Inhale to roll it up. Reach up, lift your heart. And exhale, drop into a chair squat. Look at your hands as your tailbone goes down, down, down. Inhale to stand, heart up. Exhale to fold, heart down. Halfway up, inhale, look forward. And exhale, big fold. Palms are down. Inhale to plank. Exhale, bend your knees, sit close to your heels, hover those knees off the mat. Inhale to plank. Exhale to down dog. Nice, inhale to plank again. Exhale, walk your hands back to your feet. And fold. All over again, inhale, roll it up. Reach up. Exhale, sit down into your very deep chair squat. Inhale to stand. Exhale, fold. Halfway up, inhale. Big fold, exhale. Palms are down. Inhale to plank. Exhale, sit close to your heels. Hover your knees. Inhale to plank. Exhale to down dog. And we'll hang out here for a moment, okay? Maybe 5 or 6 breaths in your down dog. Gripping the mat, pushing it forward with your hands, and pulling your heels back away from your hands. So like you're trying to rip your mat in half. Okay, allow the elbows to roll in toward each other. Shoulder blades slide into your back pockets. And I like to play around with this idea, this action of drawing everything inward toward the midline. So right and left sides pulling in together, pulling in toward each other. And let's begin to play around a little bit. So inhaling here, get your right leg up and out behind you. Okay, exhaling here, pull that right knee towards your right elbow. Just see how close you can get. And inhale, send it back. We'll do it again, okay? Exhale, right knee to right elbow. Little pause. Inhale, send it back. Okay, now we're going to get kind of weird. Exhale, right knee to right elbow, pause. Pull your elbows in close to your ribs, and then see if you could hook your right knee on top of your right elbow and lift up your left leg for a moment. Boom. Let it go. Inhale, send that right leg up and back. And exhale, drop the right foot between your hands. We're dropping that back heel, coming up to a warrior one. Big breath in, come on up. All right, warriors, hang out here with me. Really pushing into that left heel. Push back through your strong left leg. Okay, your right heel is trying to move toward the back of the mat. And everything in your legs is pulling up and in toward center. Okay, we're trying to draw the right hip back and we're trying to move the left hip forward. We can go ahead and drop our hands behind us and join them here. And allow your shoulder blades to peel up your big heart. Okay, make sure your legs are nice and strong and stable here. And let's keep moving. With your inhale, see if you can lift your heart even higher. With your exhale, drop your heart. See if you could point the top of your head at the center of the earth. Again, inhale, roll your heart up, pick it up high. And then exhale, drop it really low. Again, big breath in, roll it up. And big exhale, roll it down. And let's hang out here, just breathing. Keep your legs strong, okay? Keep pushing into the left heel, pulling back on the right. Let your head hang. Could you drop the hips a little lower? Could you move the hands a little further away from your head? One more big breath in here. And then release your hands underneath your shoulders. We'll pause here. So if you have a block that you'd rather put your right hand on, that'd be great, okay? If you want to put your right fingers on the floor, awesome, hand is great. But if it's not super fun for you to come all the way down like this, you can put your right elbow on your right knee, okay? But find a place to put that right elbow or hand. We're reaching up with the left, okay? Take a moment here, settle in. So find where you want that right hand to be and strengthen the legs, drop into your hips. We're going to get a little deeply into that right hip. So always feel free to back out if it's too much, okay? So hang out here. Think of dropping the hips low, really using that right hip. And remember, your left leg is still present, holding some weight. So don't be afraid to push down in that left foot and use it to support yourself. Okay, if everything's going well, you can really drop that right armpit here and hook the right arm underneath your right leg. Remember to stay low. Push that floor with your legs. And if you want, you can send the left hand behind to find the right. And if they find each other, squeeze that leg tight and try to look up at the ceiling. Push that floor. A lot of intense feelings in that right hip. For me, I don't know about you. Okay, maybe 3 more breaths here. Stick with it. Push down into the floor. 2 more breaths. Roll that top armpit open. Last breath. All hands down under your shoulders. Back to down dog. Walk it out. Okay, notice how that right hip feels. Whew. And let's take a little in-between vinyasa, okay? You're always welcome to skip the vinyasa and just take a break if you need that more. Inhaling here, find your plank. And exhaling, hop or step to your hands and fold. Roll it up as you inhale. Sit down into a nice chair squat as you exhale. Draw your tailbone down, down, down. Inhale to stand, lift your heart. And exhale to fold. On your inhale, halfway up, look forward. On your exhale, very big fold. Palms are down. Inhale to plank. You can hop or step. And exhale all the way down. Inhale for a cobra. Pull your big heart forward. Exhale for down dog. Okay, take 5 or 6 breaths here with me. Just enjoying this down dog. Really activating where we need to, pushing the mat forward, pulling the mat back. Maybe if you walked your fingers an inch further, you could have a little bit more length in your spine. Okay, experiment with that possibility. Okay, you ready for the second side? Inhaling here, left leg up and out behind you. Exhaling, left knee to left elbow. Draw it in and hold. 2 more times. Inhaling, send it back. Exhaling, pull it in. 1 more, okay? Bring it back. Pull it in and hold. Bring your elbows to your ribs. See if you could hook your left elbow under your left knee and see if you could send your right foot up in the air for a breath or 2. 1 more big breath. And right foot down. Left leg back up and out behind you. Big breath in. And exhale, drop the left foot between your hands. Dropping that right heel. Coming up to a warrior 1. Big breath in. Warrior 1. Here we are. So, friends, you might benefit from taking your feet more toward the opposite sides of the mat if you feel like warrior 1 is not comfortable to really drop into. So try that. You can widen your feet like a railroad track. But press into the outer edge of the right foot. Use your strong right leg. And use that left heel to pull back, okay? Sometimes if you feel limited in the posture, activating the right places can help open it up. The hips are trying to face the front of the mat. Join your hands behind you. This time the opposite thumb is on top. So strong legs, lift your heart up and out of that strength. Big breath in. Then exhale, roll your heart down. Point the top of your head at the center of the earth. Roll it up on the inhale. Lift your heart. And bring it down on the exhale. 1 more time, yogis. Big breath in. Come on up. And big exhale coming down. Hold here and breathe. Okay, continue to push the floor with your legs. Continue to draw them up and inward toward your pelvis, okay? Could you drop the hips a little lower? Let that heat build. 1 more big breath here. And then release your hands underneath your shoulders, okay? So we're heading into that bind or that big hip opener on the left. So put your left hand somewhere. It could be palm by the foot, fingertips, block. If it's too much, just take your left elbow to your left knee, okay? But we're reaching up with the right hand. And pause here. I'll spin around to face you. Remember to keep your legs strong, okay? Sometimes when we're not looking at our legs, we're not thinking about them so much, we tend to forget about them and they get a little bit passive and we're just kind of hanging out. But push down with your legs, activate, use them, okay? All right, you're breathing here, perfect balance of effort and ease, and possibly you tuck that left shoulder really low, reach under your leg with the left arm. And maybe the right arm comes looking for its friend. squeeze your leg in by your body and push that floor. Some nice sensation in that left hip. So roll that right shoulder open to the ceiling. Maybe look up. But just remember to always point your nose in whatever direction seems natural. Okay, we want to follow the spine with that nose. All right, one more big breath here, yogis. And let it go. Drop your hands under your shoulders. Back to down dog. Walk it out. Shake it out. Let's take a little vinyasa to shake it off, okay? Heart moves forward on the inhale, plank. Exhale, hop or step to your hands and fold. Roll it up as you inhale. Sit down into your chair. On your exhale, drop that tailbone. Inhale to stand, lift your heart. And exhale to fold. Halfway up, inhale. Big fold, exhale. Palms are down. Inhale to plank. You can hop or step. And exhale all the way down. Inhale for your cobra. Pull your heart up. Exhale, down dog. Okay, my friends, last down dog of the practice here. I think it's nice to check in and see how it feels. The backs of the legs hopefully feeling evenly soft and open. Okay, the heels release hopefully more readily to the floor. The armpits feel softer and more open toward the ground as well. And then as you're ready, walk to your hands. Come all the way to your hands. And put enough bend in your knees that you can at least put your fingertips down. Palms would be great. Fingertips is good too. Block is also great. But put your hands on something and let your head hang. Okay, we're going to get a little foldy and twisty at the same time. So pick up your right foot, step it over the front and over to the other side of your left foot. So your ankles are now crossed and your right shin is in front. All right. And then walk your hands out to the right. Okay, take a little time. You can point your fingertips out to the right. And then if it feels good, you can even point them behind you a little bit. Do let your head hang though, and do bend your knees. Okay, don't feel like you have to extend your knees here. It's really not, it's kind of irrelevant whether or not you extend your knees. But do push the floor a little bit with those feet, okay? And then walk your hands through center and over to the left. Okay, try that on for size. Again, you can walk them fingers to point to the left, or you can walk the fingers to point all the way behind you. Push the floor gently, okay? Let your head hang really heavily here. And let's bring the hands back to center. And then here you can switch the crossing of your feet. So your right foot comes back under your right hip, and your left foot can cross over the front to the other side of your right. So remember, put enough bend in your knees that you're not struggling. There's no reason to struggle here. This should be fun. Okay. And then start by walking your fingers to point out to the left. If everything's feeling pretty good, you can point them all the way behind you. But don't force it. There's really no prize for getting your fingers to point in a certain direction. Breathe and let your head hang so long on your neck. And try walking your hands out to point your fingers to the right for a little while. Let your head hang. Maybe the fingers point all the way behind. Who knows? Push the floor. with your hands and your feet. The more you push against the floor, the more the floor will push back on you. Okay, walk your hands back to center. Feet come back to normal now. And then walk your feet a bit wider than your hips, okay? You may point your toes out slightly. And we'll see if we can drop the hips all the way down into a squat here. So for some people, it's not super comfortable to bring the hips all the way down, and that's super respectable. So you can just stay up on your elbows, on your knees, or you can keep your hands on the ground, okay? But if you can release your hips, do. You put your palms together and see if you could stick your elbows between your knees. Okay, with your long spine. Sit up nice and tall here. Tailbone is coming down, heart is moving up. And then try this, okay? For me, the secret to being in this posture comfortably is activating the legs. So if you notice that you tend to want to sink into your legs here and just let them go, activate the legs. Push into the floor with your feet. Think of plugging each leg into the hip socket and draw your knees away from each other so that if you put your elbows between them, your elbows would have some space. Rise up in that long spine. Big breath. Close your eyes here. See if you can sense your heart beating. As you're ready, put your hands to the floor and come all the way down to a seat. And you could shake out your legs here. Shake it out. Notice how your legs are feeling. Excellent work, yogis. Okay, find your favorite cross-leg posture, just whatever it is, okay? Crisscross applesauce works, okay? A half lotus works. You can tuck one foot in by your hip crease. Let the knee just fall on the bottom foot. Whatever makes sense for you. I like to tuck one foot in by my hips and then pull the other foot in really close. Feels nice with the hips open like that. So close your eyes. Nice and tall. Notice how you feel. And we'll just seal this practice off with a little twist before we rest, okay? So arms up overhead here. Big breath in with your long neck. As you exhale, twist to the left. Drop your left fingers behind, your right fingers in front. And we'll pause here, okay? Your fingers are down. Use them to push the floor down and lengthen that spine even more. And if you want, you can deepen this by taking right hand to left knee, using that left knee like a handle to gently tug yourself into a deeper twist. Feel all the tissue on the back of the right side, okay? The right shoulder blade, all of that peeling open. So breathe into the back body. Breathe space into the left side of the chest. And as always, lengthen the spine when we're twisting. As you're ready, let's bring it back to center. Big breath in, arms up. And exhale, twist to the right. Fingertips down, look over that right shoulder. Fingers push the ground to make you longer in the spine. Maybe the left hand uses the right knee to deepen the twist. So notice the back of your left's rib cage now. Big breath into there. Big breath expanding the right side of your chest. Once you're ready, bring your twist back into center. And let's rest here in a comfy seat today. Close your eyes. Allow your spine to be very long, buoyant. Okay, rock your tailbone to point directly at the center of the earth, and maybe your belly button pulls in slightly when you do that. Feel your low back rising like a strong tree trunk up out of your pelvis. Shoulder blades are heavy on the back, and the heart is lifting. Heart is buoyant. With a slight tuck in your chin, you might feel your neck get a little longer. You can imagine the crown of your head getting pulled up toward the sky. Allow the breath to get soft and effortless through the nose. Perhaps your jaw hangs slack. Spend some time noticing how it feels just to breathe without any effort, no control over the breath anymore. Allow your body to soak up the magic of your practice. Please keep resting like this for as long as you can. Thank you so much for joining me.